Deadline is reporting a $150 million new record for opening weekend day. That is the Friday for Endgame. The previous record was The Force Awakens with $119 million. If you put inflation on it, maybe it's a couple million more. This has smashed whatever you want to do to calculate it. So $157 million absolutely obliterated the existing record that The Force Awakens had. Now, that includes the $60 million from the Thursday. So that means with $60 million on Thursday, you got $97 million estimated right now for the actual Friday. The previous one-day record, although this is called the first day record, it's 2 days. The previous one-day record was $82 million for this Saturday for Infinity War. So this is also the real first one-day record, the 24-hour record. So the $97 million here for Friday, that's more than any film has ever earned in the US domestic market in one single day. Again, the previous record was Infinity War on its Saturday with $82 million. Now, Infinity War earned more on its Saturday than its Friday, and basically every film earns more money on its Saturday than its Friday when you pull out all of the money from the Thursday. So unless something abnormal happens here, and it can because we're in abnormal territory, but if something abnormal happens here, the Saturday should be bigger than the Friday. So this record of a 24-hour period is $97 million. It's very well could be that record won't last more than 24 hours. The Saturday could earn more than $97 million. All of the big blockbusters, the Saturdays are bigger than the Fridays. And Deadline is also reporting a kind of average from a few different places, as saying $349 million projected for the 3 days. So $349 million is a sort of middling amount that a lot of different places are agreeing upon. So that does mean it could be a bit under that. It does also mean it could be a bit above that. But $349 million projected. What do you say? The previous record was either $257 million for Infinity War or $259 million for The Force Awakens with inflation. No contest, okay? No contest at all. It needed $260 million just to beat everything no matter what. Way over $260 million. $349 million perhaps projected right now. We also have a slightly updated Saturday box office figure out of China. Okay, I did have a video quite a few hours ago reporting their partial Saturday. This is still a partial Saturday, so this is not the finished number for Saturday, but it is updated from the previous video. So they're reporting a $70.86 million so far for Saturday. That is a current number, if you like, and that brings its total to around about $288 million so far for China, but that is not the end number for the Saturday, so it'll go up by more than that. I'm not really sure by how much, but if it keeps going at the rate it has been going, it's likely that it'll get close to or over $300 million by the end of the Saturday, which does mean it's possible that if Endgame gets this projected $349 million in the US domestic market, China may get more than that. Okay, it may get somewhere around that figure. So China may very well still outperform the US domestic market for the opening weekend. Now, that's not exactly a fair fight as such, although no one thought that China would be beating them under any circumstances, because the Chinese money is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whereas the North American figure is just a bit of Thursday, the opening sort of 6 p.m. onwards on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you've got a kind of day and a half extra, a bit more than that in the Chinese number. So it's not quite accurate to say that there's more money because it was over more days. But nonetheless, that's how things are done in a lot of foreign markets. And whether it's a weekend or a week or whatever, its total box office is going to be over $300 million by the end of Saturday, or around about there, maybe a little bit under, maybe a little bit over. There are no major updates for a lot of the foreign countries. Right now, we've got about $151 million from all of the countries, except for China and North America, and that's basically for Wednesday and Thursday. So if we add to the $151 million the amount of money we have sort of confirmed from North America right now, add to that the money we have up until most of Saturday for China, and we get $596 million is the pretty much confirmed amount of money we have right now, but this is missing lots of money. So the real figure's a lot higher than this, but this is just what I can confirm, which is higher than you'll see anywhere else actually confirming, $596 million. So this is obviously no money from Sunday. This is just most of China's money for Saturday, and this is China and North America's money for Friday and Thursday, and then it's probably a lot of the other international money from Thursday and Wednesday. So heaps of money's missing. Anyway, $596 million plus. If we look at the world records right now, only one film's in front. Okay, so Avengers Infinity War, $640 million. I would imagine right now we're way past that. There's just no confirmation. But right now I would say there is at least $50 million more. Yeah, way more than $50 million more right now would be owing for not being reported yet. A lot more than that. So it's basically the highest grossing film ever for the opening weekend. But it can't confirm that. It can only confirm it's number 2. So Fate of the Furious, $541 million. This has got more confirmed money than that. It'll smash Infinity War. Yeah, $1 billion is still on the cards. More than $1 billion maybe on the cards. Absolutely massive, massive news coming out of North American box office for Friday. And if we take the North American money off, we have $439 million just for all of the confirmed foreign money. That's not quite the record yet. So the Fate of the Furious got $443 million, so it's $4 million short of the Fate of the Furious. So again, there's way more than $4 million outstanding just to date. So it is the new number one film in the foreign market ever, but can't confirm it yet. So it's $4 million off. It's obviously going to beat it eventually at the end of Sunday, but it's nearly the biggest film ever for international money, except we've got lots of days left to go. We can have a look at a chart now with Force Awakens, Infinity War, Jurassic World, Last Jedi, and Endgame. There's not too much to see. We've only got 2 days worth of data. The first day there I've got is the Thursday, if you like, the advanced screenings. And the second day we've got the Fridays. This is for the North American market. And we can see the kind of light blue, the teal color at the top. That's Endgame. Massive lead. Okay, so that's where Endgame is. The dark blue is Force Awakens. That's the next one in line there. And we've got the Last Jedi down. Oh, no, actually, it's not down the bottom. Sorry, Jurassic World is down the bottom. That's right. Jurassic World had a terrible advanced screen money. Only had $18 million. So Jurassic World will bump up compared to the rest of these after this point in time. But yeah, Jurassic World, I'm not sure what the reason was, but advanced screenings were very low for Jurassic World, and then it started putting in some big money. So yeah, Jurassic World at the bottom. But the main one to look at as we go forward to The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is the one that essentially didn't do very well after its opening weekend, and we want to really compare that to Endgame. But unfortunately, just comparing it to Endgame is difficult now, because Endgame is so far ahead. So Endgame just has a ridiculous lead, and at this point in time, very, very early, no telling what the film's legs will be, but you got to start looking at that Force Awakens number. Okay, so the Force Awakens number, I think it's about $930 million without inflation. You got to start kind of comparing that to Endgame and seeing what will happen. Will Force Awakens overtake it in the coming weeks, or will Endgame just have such a massive lead and get good legs that it'll actually be the biggest non-inflation adjusted film in the North American market, which again right now is Force Awakens. So because Endgame is just doing so ridiculously well, I really need to bump everything up and get everything on the most level playing field possible, because we just have nothing to compare it to. Okay, there's just nothing we can say, oh, let's look at it compared to this film, because it's basically hammering absolutely everything. So what we've got here are the top opening weekend records. If you actually include all of the countries instead of just including the countries that opened with North America, and it's also including inflation. Okay, so this is bumping up everything as much as you can. Still no, illegal bumping up if you like. These are real numbers. But this is the worldwide figures with inflation on the opening weekend, and also adding in all of the countries that weren't originally added in. So you can still see the record right there. Infinity War is still number one. So we've got a column there that says open inflation in the middle at $640 million. That's what it sort of got with inflation. It's basically no inflation for Infinity War. And then the right-hand column, we have the real open. That's when we add in all of the foreign money. And for Infinity War, that was basically China and a few other countries. So Infinity War actually got $849 million if you count all of the opening weekends together. So we're going to obviously smash that. I've said that for quite a while. We're going to smash that number, and that is a record to go for. And right now, we are on $596 million. So even after bumping this up as much as we can, $596 million, that's slightly better than Age of Ultron, the fourth best here, which had $591 million. So even with putting all the Chinese money in for everyone, putting all the foreign money in for everyone, putting inflation on for everyone, we've still only got 3 films that are outdoing it. So it is still behind where The Force Awakens was at the relative same point in time. It's behind Fast and Furious 7, and it is still behind Infinity War, again, when we add in all of the money together. Now, it's going to smash them all. It'll be ahead eventually, but when we get the numbers reported in, that's what we want to keep a little eye on. When will we actually break this $849 million? Will it be in the next several hours if more reports come in, or will we have to actually wait until Sunday? So not really much more to say. All of the news is actually better than what a lot of the expectations were. So it's looking huge. I guess the only bad news is, if you want to be a pessimist, it's hard to think it can go better from here. Okay, this is this is better than what most people would have thought this could have happened. So Endgame's going even better. And so can it sustain this on Saturday? It would just be ridiculous if this could get a normal Saturday to Friday, because the Friday is so berserk. But it could happen. I guess it's possible that we could get a even more record Saturday, but I just don't think so. The amount of money we're dealing with here is pretty silly, and we're probably going to be looking at a large percentage drop compared to these other large films, because this money is just so crazily big. So a large percentage drop doesn't mean bad news for it, but if we were just to compare percent, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bigger gap between the Friday and the Saturday for this film than some of the comparative films, only because the Friday's just so silly. I mean, how much more money can you squeeze out? But we'll see, could be completely wrong. Maybe we're looking at a $150 million Saturday. So I just don't know what they think that it can actually earn. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.